Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. The second most powerful Democrat in the United States Senate is our guest today, and he's got the rundown.
Sam, Senator Harry Reid joins us this morning. Did you know the Park Service wants to privatize all the employees? And that $87 billion you keep complaining about, Sam, that comes up this week in Congress, too. We'll talk to Senator Reid and see what he has to say about this. And on the pundit panel, Chris Wicker, Bob Kroll, John Galtney, and Alfredo Alonso. It's all coming up on Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch us straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, the top 8 risks of hiring employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're joined by U.S. Senator Harry Reid. Always a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here, Senator. I understand that the President's coming out with a proposal to privatize the Park Service employees.
Well, he's already come out with that program, and I've offered an amendment that's pending now. We'll vote on that Tuesday afternoon. It's hard for me to comprehend why we would want to put profit as the motive for taking care of the people in these parks. You know, anyone that's gone to a national park lately will find these people that work there wonderful. They love what they do. We have people who donate thousands of hours of volunteer time. They're not going to do that if you put the parks out to the lowest bidder. It is absolutely foolish.
What do you think the chances are of killing it?
I think they're really good. I think we can get some Republicans to join with us. This is one of the things that just, to me, is almost incomprehensible, how they would want to do that, to put Yellowstone National Park, Great Basin National Park, out to the lowest bidder, have minimum wage employees are wandering around. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Does the Nature Conservancy agree with you?
I don't know. I haven't talked to them. I'm sure they do, though. I would have to think so.
Okay, I want to switch gears a little bit here. This week, it's going to come up the $87 billion deficit spending that we're going to have to support the war in Iraq and the war in Afghanistan. I'm certainly in favor of whatever we need to get the job done. But it kind of begs the question, I guess, on the other side, which is that if we have $87 billion, a $500 billion deficit, to be able to accommodate the needs around the world, why are we cutting back and back and back in this country and strangling the states when we suddenly have $87 billion to spend helping the rest of the world?
The deficit this year will be $597 billion. Think of that. 1 year, $597 billion. I'm going to support the troops. It doesn't matter whether we got there with bad information or how we got there.
And I agree.
Three were killed yesterday, 3 more wounded, and we'll see what happens today. A dead soldier doesn't even make the top of the news anymore. It's buried down someplace in the story. But where I have trouble is the $22 billion for building a power grid in Iraq. I have trouble understanding why we're going to spend money building schools, highways, bridges, roads, dams in Iraq. We can't do it here. We have 9 million people unemployed, but that doesn't take into consideration the 1.6 million people who've been on the unemployment roll so long they don't count them anymore. Over 10 million unemployed people. And we need things done here. We don't even have a highway bill this year. Every 5 or 6 years we do a highway bill. This is the 6th year. We don't have a highway bill. It's embarrassing. I said so at a gathering yesterday in Washington. I'm going to say it again today wherever I go. We do not have a highway bill. The Republicans control the White House, the Senate, and the House. Why can't we get a highway bill? I just think it's embarrassing.
Well, Senator, we know our infrastructure is failing. We just had a big power outage due to failing infrastructure of the power grid on the East Coast and so forth. I can't understand why Congress doesn't say we need to fix some things at home first.
Well, I don't care. I don't even care if we do it. Yes. Yeah, thanks, Sam. I don't even care if we do it first, but let's do it. I mean, let's split the difference. Let's do 10 each place. 10 is a drop in the bucket for all the things we need here, but 10's okay. This highway bill, remember the highway bill isn't new taxes. These are monies that are collected when you buy a gallon of gas. You put it in a trust fund, not a slush fund to be used for other things. It's to be used for highways. And we have in Nevada, you know, wouldn't it be great to get the road between here and Carson City taken care of? It would be safer. Between my home and Searchlight and Railroad Pass, 36 miles, the busiest road in all of Nevada, 2-lane road. We're struggling to get the money to get a 4-lane road there. It's a death trap for me to drive to my home in Searchlight. So I'm very disappointed about the priorities we have in this country today.
Okay, so what is the Democratic Party going to do about this? Are you going to put on a major publicity campaign to say that in addition to doing this for a needed effort in Iraq and Afghanistan, that we need to do it at home as well?
I don't think this should come from the Democratic Party. I think it should come from members of Congress. We have 3 separate but equal branches of government.
Well, I mean that.
And we need people of goodwill of both parties to go forward and say, we'll take care of the troops. We need to do that, but let's also take care of the people at home.
But isn't that you and Tom Daschle? Aren't you the ones that are supposed to be leading the fight? When I say the Democratic Party, I mean Congress.
Well, Sam, we're doing that. I think you're going to see.
I think you need to yell louder.
I think you're going to see a pretty. It's going to be a nice little struggle, but Tom and I are doing the best we can. But we're being joined by good people. Republicans on the other side who are going to help us on this. I think we're going to be able to do this, just like the park thing. We're going to win that. We don't have enough Democrats. We have to get Republicans to help us. And we're going to have Republicans help us on that. We're going to win that battle.
I've heard a rumor that you're very good at that. We'll take a break. We'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers right after this timeout.
Experience adrenaline with Curtis Adams. Watch him defy modern science with amazing acrobatics and sexy show-stopping effects that'll make your pulse race. Adrenaline. It's a new kind of magic. One night only, September 27th, live at the Pioneer.
Adrenaline. Curtis Adams. Magic that rocks.
It's hot.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square used the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And we're back on Nevada Newsmakers with Senator Harry Reid. Senator, I want to talk politics for a few minutes. Big surprise.
I thought that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, those were issues. I want to talk about an upcoming campaign. Now, there's talk that Dean Heller may run against you, and I know that you think highly of Dean Heller. And Brian Krolicki, treasurer. I don't know how you feel about Brian Krolicki. But I also know you were a Golden Gloves boxer, and when you run a campaign, you have the killer instinct. Does it matter who runs against you on how you run a campaign, or do you always just run a go-for-the-jugular campaign?
Andy, I have to say, as I look back, the worst campaign I ever had was 6 years ago. I underestimated John Ensign. He was much, much better than I thought he would be. And my campaign kind of reflected my disinterest in what was going on. And as a result of that, I almost lost. John Ensign was very, very good. This year, I'm going to have I think, the best campaign I've ever had. I've had people on the ground here since January, and I think Brian Krolicki is a fine young man. I like him personally. Dean Heller, I think he's a fine person. But it doesn't matter who runs. We have and I have an opponent now, Richard Zeiser, who is a person who understands organization, and I have never met him, but I understand he's also a nice person. But my campaign is going to be as good this time as it was bad last time.
So you think you're going to win by a much larger margin?
Well, I think I will win by more than 428 votes.
Senator, in the New York Times last Sunday, Paul Krugman, who's a columnist for the Times, wrote a very lengthy piece called The Incalculable Costs of a Tax Cut Crusade. And he talked about the idea that people on the far right within the administration are not just interested in cutting taxes, but they're really interested in disassembling parts of our system, getting rid of Social Security, cutting back on Medicare to the point where all of the plans of Lyndon Johnson and the New Deal and everything else goes away. Do you think they have any remote chance of being able to do that?
Well, Krugman, this isn't original with him. This is what Pat Moynihan said 10 years ago. He saw what was coming. And so I read the Krugman article. It was well written, and he's right on point. We have people who really, they don't care about cutting taxes. That's only an end that they see. It's a means to an end is what I should say. They believe that Social Security, they can't defeat Social Security head on, so they're going to try to starve it to death. They can't take away the Peace Corps head on, so they're going to starve it to death. They can't do with Medicare head on because people need Medicare, so they're going to starve it to death, and on with other programs. And I think it's insidious, but they've been pretty good at it.
And do you think that the public will become aware of this? I mean, because at this point, I read the article and I was in shock.
Well, the article basically said this administration probably won't be blamed for it now. It'll only be when the history books are written 10, 20 years from now, because the real brunt of all these terrible social disasters that we're going to have in this country, where you're going to be called upon to take care of your parents. You're going to have a government that's going to help it all. And some are saying, oh, well, great, that's the way it should be. But some people have no children to take care of them. It's a cycle that this country is going to see unless we turn things around. But I look at the glass being half full rather than half empty. I think we can stop it.
Okay.
Senator.
Good answer.
Excuse me. I wanted to ask you about the Patriot Act. The war on terrorism is something that's going to go on forever and ever and ever. And yet we're passing these laws that are really chipping away at our basic civil rights.
I think we have to be careful. The Patriot Act as it's written is nothing that we should be afraid of. For one thing, it sunsets. It goes out of existence unless we renew it. in just a few years. There are things that we had to do. For example, and I'll be very quick, if you were prior to 9/11 were a suspected dope dealer, we could have a tap on your phone wherever it was. But if you were a suspected terrorist, we had to get a special order from a judge for every cell phone you use, for one in your home, for your office, just almost impossible. We changed the law. So we've done good things. What we have to be careful is we don't wind up doing things like we did to Japanese Americans during World War II. We have to be very careful, and it's a fine line. And we're not there yet, but we have to be careful.
Well, excuse me, Senator, but we already know that there are prosecutors who are using the provisions in the Patriot Act against principles that have nothing to do with terrorism.
Well, that's what has been said. There are hearings being held as we speak in that regard. I hope that's not the case. And for Ashcraft to say he wants to do more, I think is a little bit of publicity hound that he has left over from his days when he ran for office. Because the fact is, increasing death penalties for more people, that's not going to do the trick.
By the way, do you know what the color code alert is for today?
I don't know.
Neither does anybody else,
I think we're
Senator.
not playing with that as much as we used to. I think it's pretty standard.
General Wesley Clark jumped into the ring as a Democratic contender. He's never run for political office, but obviously a highly respected military man. Word is that he's not really running seriously in this election to be president, but he's being set up to be run as Hillary Clinton's running mate 4 years down the road.
Oh, I think that's silly. Wesley Clark's 59 years old. He's a man who graduated first in his class at West Point. He's a Rhodes Scholar, 4-star general, Silver Star for valor, Purple Heart. He doesn't need to, I mean, he's set up to be vice president if he never did another thing in the world. This is a man that's high quality, and he's going to add a lot to the Democratic primary we now have going.
You want to make a prediction as to who might end up being the candidate on the Democratic?
No, I really can't do that, Andy. I have four of my senators, so I have to take care of who are running for president, and I have to be very careful about that.
Okay, a last quick question. Somebody, a Republican, said to me the other day, you know, Harry Reid touts himself as being the deputy minority leader in the Senate and all the things that's done for Nevada, but truly, what has that done for Nevada? Doesn't that take him away from doing things for Nevada? How would you answer that guy?
Well, I think all you have to do is look at the appropriation bill that comes across the Senate floor anytime. I get a lot of things that I couldn't get it but for this position. It's a job that takes a lot of my time. I hope it's good for the country, but I know it's good for Nevada.
We've got 10 seconds. Give me the top 3 things.
Well, it gives me access to anything that's going on. That's access, access, and access.
Senator Harry Reid, always a pleasure. Thank you for being here, sir. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers. I'm not sure you answered the question. After this timeout.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush Card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week. And still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, Back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And we're back on Nevada Newsmakers on our pundit panel. Chris Wicker from the Democratic Party, John Galtney, Alfredo Alonso, and Bob Kroll. All right, we've heard Senator Reid, and Senator Reid sounds like he's going to run a really tough campaign this time. Do you think that there's a Republican out there, with the exception of Jim Gibbons, maybe, who can beat Senator Reid? And just jump in here, guys.
No, I don't think there is, because Senator Reid has been around for so long, and he's done so much good for the state that he can tick off 1, 2, 3.
But his negatives are high, Chris.
Well, they've always been high, and I think it's because he takes positions, and you know, I think politics have always been a big issue in Nevada, but I think Senator Reid, every time he points to what he's accomplished for this state and its businesses, he's got something to say and something to run on.
I agree with Chris. I don't think Harry can be touched this time. And I know that a lot of people thought that he and Gibbons would be a good race. It probably would have been a good race, but I think that Harry's got a heck of a record to run on for this state. And I think once people see that, even though past elections have been close, I think that he's in.
I would. Oh, go ahead.
I think there's some outstanding young Republicans waiting in the wings. I don't think this is their time. I think Harry is too strong. I also think he's too good for Nevada. I think as a Republican, speaking as a Republican, he's the second most powerful Democrat in the country, most powerful public officials in the country. I think he benefits a state like ours.
Certainly. I'm a registered Republican, and I have to say
Hooray,
that
we've got one.
Got two.
He certainly has done well for the state. And when you look at his position, we haven't been as well represented in D.C. probably since Cannon was there. I mean, literally, he is a power broker among power brokers.
We've got Bob Cashel and Mayor Armstrong and Luther Mack talking about forming a Republicans for Reid. Does this mean the conservatives are going to call them rhinos, Republicans in name only?
I hope not. I think that we're Nevadans first, and when all's said and done, having someone that represents our state like Harry does, I think is outstanding.
Well, I think the group that throws around the rhino term are not Nevadans first. I think they're neoconservatives or extremists first, and I would not be the least bit surprised if they start saying rhino too, because they can't help themselves.
Well, I think in this country anymore, you know, when you start labeling people, I think that there's a danger to our democratic society, because I think that when you start labeling people, the media and the populace tends to focus on the label and not focus on the issues. And I think we do ourselves a real disservice when we do that. When you call someone a rhino or a dink or whatever you call them, it hurts. And I see that in No Child Left Behind, you know, where you call people in need of improvement or not highly qualified. Every time you use a label, you polarize people, and that's a political technique, but you don't end up talking about the issue, which is where I think we should be.
You're absolutely right. It does tend to obscure the issues, because all the media is about the rhinos and who's saying that, and you lose track of what the really important issues are to the state.
What's a dink?
Double income, no kids.
It's got two meanings.
My hope is that some of these conservatives actually sit down with Senator Reid and discuss some of the issues with him, because I could probably wager to guess that none of them have. And he does listen to Nevadans, and I think that would be a good step forward.
And on top of that, for those of us who tend to lean toward the Republicans a little bit, the fact of the matter is the Republicans are winning. The trend in this state is moving toward conservative. The trend is moving toward the Republican Party. I don't know that we have to be spoilers in the sense we have to win every single position. And statewide, Republicans are on the rise.
Okay, we're running out of time. I want to get to, there was a poll down in Las Vegas that came out and basically showed that, and it was Magellan, I've never heard of them, and I don't know how good they are, that if the election were held today, basically most of the people said they would vote against people who voted for taxes, and then a majority said they would vote against people who held up the education funding, which makes no sense. This is completely contradictory. A real quick comment from each of you about what you think is going to bring in this next election, this tax hike. And Chris, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I think if the truth of the matter comes out, the fact is that, you know, not increasing taxes is very popular, and everybody's against increasing taxes, but sometimes you have to. And those 15 assembly persons that held up the budget, held up the education budget, had no real plan. They were just against taxes, but when you say, what are you going to cut, what are you going to do, they had no real plan. And so if the truth comes out, I think those people will really take it.
Well, may I disagree
Yes.
mildly? First of all, none of the 15 that I talked to were opposed to educational funding. All 15 of those were strongly in favor of funding education. I think their difficulty was the fact that most of the tax increase went other than education. So I would like to suggest to you that maybe we're being unkind to those individuals when we suggest that they did not support education, because I don't think that's true.
We got 15 seconds
Over and over again, it's been shown that if you sell the issue to your constituents and they tell them what you paid for it, people understand. I think it's going to depend on the candidate and the
Quick,
campaign.
jump in here, Bob.
Ditto.
Okay. You're great. Okay, we'll be right back.
Big Apple Pizza, best pizza in Nevada, take one.
Today we're making homemade meatballs for a meatball parm. If you like cheesesteak, I think you're like in South Philly right now. It's the best cheese ever made. Now that's how a Philly cheesesteak's supposed to look.
And here's little Cole.
This is authentic. We'll throw some pepperoni in here. Not gonna be shy about it. Yeah, I bet you guys didn't know I could do that. Don't skimp on the toppings. Authentic as it gets. Big Apple Pizza and Subs on the corner of Bering and McCarran, a New Jersey guy who knows how to make an East Coast pizza.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Experience adrenaline with Curtis Adams. Watch him defy modern science with amazing acrobatics and sexy show-stopping effects that'll make your pulse race. Adrenaline. It's a new kind of magic. One night only, September 27th, live at the Pioneer.
Adrenaline. Curtis Adams. Magic that rocks.
It's hot.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
See you this tomorrow when Sam and I talk to Senator Randolph Townsend, and then Scott Craigie and Larry Mathias, and Sam and I go at it again discussing politics. Remember, you can see, if you miss it at 12:30, you can see us tonight on cable channel 12 in Washoe, Carson, 19 in Douglas County at 9:30. Thank you for watching.